Good morning to all you Raiders fans across the globe. Live Action Network 2023. Glad that you decided to tune in. This is a busy week. It's fair week. Everybody knows that. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I gave up a pretty darn good parking place to come do the show. So, I just don't want anybody to think there's no sacrifice on the part of me and Raymond here, Raymond and I. Anyway, we're going into the fair week with the game on Thursday night this week, and that's against Jules Sumner. It's out here at the Raider Dome, Pine, Louisiana. We just got through, again in Tangipahoa Parish, with A-Meat. Played them last Friday night, and it was a very, very well-attended game. There was probably 2,000 people outside the perimeter of the fence. And then inside, it was just standing room only. But it was worth the drive and price of the ticket. What a game.
Yeah, it was kind of what we thought it would be. Two really good football teams got after it. Overall, I liked the way we played.
Yeah.
We had 490 yards offense. I think they had about 260. So offensively and defensively, we did a lot of good things. We just made one or two mistakes that was kind of out of our characteristics, and it ended up costing us big time.
Yeah, well, hardly ever do you have turnovers, and at least one fumble, and then I call the blocked punt a turnover. Both of those allowed for touchdowns, and then right before the half, the Dwight Clark in the back of the end zone touchdown catch, with seconds left. He was being flushed out of the pocket, folks. You can see it on Live Action Network, to where at that point there's no way he's completing it. So those three scores were, a great turn of events for those guys. But I saw Pine pass and run just like they wanted to do all the way up until halftime.
Yeah, like I said, we got in a hole 14-0, and then came back, scored 28 straight, gave him the ball back with 40 seconds left, and credit to the quarterback. He brought him down the field and made a play at the end of the half to kind of give him momentum going in, and the block punt in the third quarter, that was huge. Overall, like I said, I like what we saw. There's about 3 or 4 mistakes that, coaches, some of it was coaching, some of it was players that we talked about this week, got to get cleaned up, And what I told them is, really good football teams play those football games, but really good programs come back. A-Meat a couple weeks ago played Kentwood.
Yeah.
Similar game. They got beat. Next week they go beat Bogalusa. Bogalusa, really good football team, played A-Meat, lost by a touchdown. What they do the next week, go back and beat Sumner. So, that's what we're focused on. Is Sumner, and tomorrow will be a good game.
Yeah. This district right now is much like in the mid-'80s when you had Hagler, Hearns, Duran, and Leonard all in their prime and in the same weight division. By the time you play each other, you've proved something to yourself. A-Meat, 6 state championships, storied program that goes way back. That tends to give them always a huge following and participation in football. The point is they're always going to have exceptional players, not especially skilled positions, linemen too. Sometimes I said, maybe Pine could have done this or that, but let's face it, we're playing a really good team. Defensive backs are exceptional. Sometimes you can be playing great, and the other team's still going to score. After all, that's what they're trying to do. Or the other team's still going to move the ball on you, what have you. I think Pine played great. I think Pine showed me that they can move the ball and they could stop A-Meat. Scoreboard just didn't reflect the
Yeah,
the win.
I agree with what you're saying there is that was a really, really good defense, especially in the front seven. I mean, I was really impressed with their outside, their edge players, middle linebackers. They looked the part for sure.
Yeah.
And when you play that caliber of athlete, it does, it puts the pressure on to make the right call.
Right.
You feel like you got to be perfect in a lot of ways. And, we've looked at that. I mean, I know we've evaluated some of the things like you talk, I think it starts with me. It starts with coaches that whenever they're scoring it into halves, both halves, something that we got to get fixed scheme wise, and then it trickles down to the players. But we all have to be accountable, and we all have to be ready to get better from it.
Yeah. And I could talk about that game all day. I enjoyed it to that extent. Jules Sumner, that's who we're playing Thursday night. Jules Sumner is Coach Donald Career's son, still the head coach out there?
He is.
Okay, Ross Career, the head coach. And tell us something about them. I'm not familiar with the Cowboys.
Well, they're going to, line up and try to run the football. They play a really, really good defense. They're very disciplined in what they do. They will watch the film and what we did successfully against A-Meat. They will have a plan to take it away, so we better have some counter punches in the game plan for sure.
Yeah, they're usually a tough bunch, and they have a huge following. I assume that they still
They do. Yes,
they ring the bells too.
Yeah. I mean, when you go down I-55 and Tangipahoa, you're going to get some good football, and you're going to get some fans that football means something to.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. Well, it sure was nice. Now this week's Fair Week, and every coach is obligated to say, guys, don't have your minds on fair now. The best teams I've been on and teams that my sons have been on, they play all year. It's a fair game. And the best practice of the year is the morning before the parade.
Yeah.
I mean, you are so excited when you get to practice.
I think it was one of our better weeks of practices of the year. And, look, at this point in our program, it's Fair Week, but, it is what it is. I think we're more, when I talk to people, other coaches and stuff, like, how do you respond after a game that you just lost? And the feeling is, and I've had several coaches tell me, and they're right, the type of players that you have there, they'll be ready. And Monday morning, that was one of the best practices that we had. And we know what Sumner is.
Yeah.
We know what's about to happen. And, we talked about it. Win or lose in this district, you better be ready to go on Monday. And I like the way our guys responded.
Yeah. Well, I think that your guys have took ownership of the reality that they have a special team and a responsibility to themselves and fans and the faculty and the guy that's playing beside you to be at your best, because you don't want to have a letdown. Last week was not a letdown and cause a blemish on the record, because right now Pine, I think, this is what I call that team. In 13 years and 21 years, you were on that team. I think this is one of those teams.
Yeah, I think so too. And like you say, you don't want to miss an opportunity with it. You don't want to give a game away based on not being prepared. You want to show up and be ready to go, because there's only a few times in life you get to be a part of something that's probably this type of team around this group of guys. So you want to get the most of it. I mean, that's what I thought about this weekend is, in the grand scheme of things, it's coming to an end. There's 3 regular season games left, 2 after tomorrow in the playoffs, and you just want to get the most out of being around this group of guys.
Yeah, it'll be one of the most excited group of fans too. Fair Week, everybody's emotions are unusually high. Well, good luck this week, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll be there, and we want to thank our sponsors this week: Jenkins Paving and Asphalt, Bill Arata, the Arata Law Firm. Also, John Weibel, elect John Weibel, state representative. Some of these people are in the runoff now. Also, Miss Lisa Jones and the whole family of Jackson Jones. If you watch Live Action Network, you know he's the big one. And number 62. And Raymond, I know I'm forgetting somebody. All right, well, good. Raider fans, thank you. Enjoy your fair and come out Thursday night to the Raider Dome. Watch the Raiders. See you next week.